Hello, everyone, and welcome. Very glad that you're here with me today. So, welcome. My name is, let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Alex Cooper. I teach the computer classes for the Columbia County Library in Evans, Georgia, the Harlem Library, the Grovetown Library, that used to be the Uchi Creek Library. Very glad that we have our new building and everything. And very glad that you're here with me today. So, today's class is Internet Buying and Selling with eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So this month we've actually been doing a whole bunch of different classes, kind of going back and forth about buying, what to buy, play things like Black Friday, stuff like that. So I'm very glad that you're here with me today. And just kind of as you come in, say hello to everybody, post stuff into the chat. And as I always say, is welcome to class. Feel free to post questions in the chat. Happy to answer any questions that you have. The big question I always want to say is, how can I help? Okay. What questions do you have? How can I help? So, okay, that's my question there. Let's talk about some of our other classes that we have coming up, and also some classes that we have had all this month. So this month has been our Thanksgiving themed stuff, so lots of turkey programs and stuff, lots of holiday, getting ready for Black Friday. Of course, Black Friday is on Friday this week because Thanksgiving is on Thursday. So very glad that you're here with me today and talking about Thanksgiving and everything. So talking about some of the things we did. We talk about printing. That'd be a great holiday gift, Christmas, holidays, or anything. And also we talked about internet safety and security, holiday gadget and ideas. And then we did some of our kind of crafty stuff. Thanksgiving scratch, let's make a turkey feather catch game. And then we also did some stuff called Let's Draw and Animate a Turkey. And I actually have both of those classes back to back tomorrow, starting at 11 o'clock and of course at 2:30. So this week's a little bit shorter because Thanksgiving is on the 26th. So if you getting ready and all that kind of good stuff, got maybe some pies and cakes and stuff ordered. Doesn't that sound good? And there we go on Thursday. So we won't have any classes on Thursdays, just Tuesday, today, and of course tomorrow morning and afternoon. Just a little side note, if you are looking for your RB digital books, do realize that we switched to a new system called Libby. All you need for Libby is your library card. How to use Libby: install the Libby app onto your phone. When it says what's your library, don't say Columbia County, don't say Evans or anything like that. Say Greater Clarksville Regional Library System. Choose Georgia, download destination, and enter your library card number. And then you'll be able to browse titles and stuff. And I have a full class that's been up about that, that's still up here on our YouTube channel about using Libby. On a little side note, our libraries are open with limited services and hours. Curbside holds pickup is available. You can go to gchrl.org for details or call the library with questions Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right now, we're actually doing a subscribe drive. If we can get 100 subscribers to our YouTube channel, then we can actually get our own customized YouTube address. Or you can search YouTube for GCHRL videos and our channel will pop right up. Okay. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything? Let me see one thing here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the handout in the, if I move around here, there's a little bit better. I'm post the handout in our chat there so you can click on and download it. And let me go ahead and do that now. So any questions before we get started? I'm very glad that you're here with me today. One of the things is if you do come to one of the live classes, then you can share that with, you can ask questions, of course, I know a lot of folks are watching the videos after they've already been posted and stuff, which is great. I'm very glad that you see the videos and hopefully it's helpful. I do realize if you come to one of the live classes, and of course I can answer questions too. All right, so I'm posting in our text box there, the handout. And let me go ahead and pull it up. All right, so this is, I don't know why it went way over there. There you go. All right, so this is a pretty fun class. The thing is, a lot of folks may not realize that they can, how to use Facebook Marketplace and of course eBay too. eBay is a little bit longer conversation, so that's mostly what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to disappear so I'm not in the way anymore. So hopefully you can download our handout here, and let's go ahead and let's get started. So we're going to talk about internet buying and selling with eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I'm just going to try to pull up some, we're going to walk through our handout and I'll kind of flip back and forth. So the idea of this is that basically you kind of have our handout like on a separate device, maybe listening to me, and then you can kind of flip back and forth as well. It's kind of what I recommend is having me like on a separate, the video on like a separate, like a cell phone or something. Now, if you came to one of my classes, I'd give you a handout printed out, which is what this is, and then everybody get like a computer in front of them, and then we could kind of scan, search for stuff together. So I'll be flipping back and forth from the handout as well. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about what we're going to cover this afternoon. We're going to talk about what is eBay, okay? And I'll also throw out there's a few ways that you can actually get a little bit of a, I guess someone would say, use the term kickback or something. So if you buy something through eBay through a different service, you can get, I think it's like a 1% back from your purchases, but it doesn't really, it goes into like a savings account. I'll actually pull the website up to show you about that. So if you are going to use eBay a lot, that might be a good idea to try that out. So what is eBay? We'll talk about how to navigate eBay as a buyer. So we talk a lot about the chicken and the egg here. So we're actually going to learn both at the same time. Optimizing your experience, understanding seller ratings, okay? How to use eBay as a seller. So a lot of folks that I get, coming to this class in general, that is what they're interested in. And I'll go ahead and, I don't have this in the handout per se, but I'll go ahead and say one of the big things is, have you ever bought anything on eBay? And you would not believe how many, what a percentage of people I'll get that say, hey, I'm really interested in selling on eBay. I want to know some tips on how to do that. I want to hear from somebody that sold a bunch of stuff on eBay before. And then I go, well, have you bought anything on eBay? And they go, nope. And I go, okay, well, I really recommend you buying something on eBay, because by the time I think you buy like basically one item, you'll have already learned a lot. One, you'll have already set up your account, which is a free account, of course, unless you buy something. And then you'll already have played around with the auction part, the buy it now part, which we're going to talk about. And you'll already know about, having something shipped to you. And I think you'll already have learned a lot just by even buying one item, okay? So a lot of folks that, like I said, will say, hey, I want to sell a bunch of stuff on eBay. And I go, that's great. Have you bought anything on eBay? And they go, no, I never have. And it's like, okay, well, I recommend you buy something on eBay before you start trying to sell something on eBay. and it'll help you understand a lot of things. And it kind of goes into our previous class that talked about eBay will have deals and stuff, daily deals, just like Amazon will too. All right, so we'll talk about listing items on eBay, so we'll do that together. How payment works, okay, maintaining a positive rating, and we'll talk about shipping your item. And then we'll cover Facebook Marketplace. We'll go through there and look up some stuff. We'll talk about some tips, some big safety tips. Bring a buddy with you. That's really my number one safety tip. Buying or selling something on Facebook Marketplace, take a buddy with you to pick up or to purchase or whatever, or sell. Okay, so we're going to cover a lot of things here. So let's go ahead and start talking about our eBay a little bit. So the origin of the name eBay, believe it or not, it does not really stand for anything. The company's founder actually wanted to name the company Echo Bay because it sounded cool. Later he discovered that it had already been taken, so he actually shortened it to eBay. So eBay technically stands for Echo Bay, but just realize that eBay doesn't really stand for anything. So what can you do on eBay? In simple terms, it is a website where you can buy and sell virtually any item in your possession. Okay. How is it different than other online shipping sites? I will tell you this, I've seen more and more places that, it looks like they're trying to cater to one's like a high-end shoe, high-end clothes place. Another one, Etsy is basically trying to focus on things that you have made. But do you realize that those may have a small appeal? Maybe you'll get to a specific audience you're looking for. But do you realize eBay is still the biggest, the number one? And we're talking about lots and lots of business going on. So even if you do try to sell stuff on those maybe smaller groups or whatever, or apps, do realize you can do the same thing with eBay and maybe even reach a larger market. Okay, so just realize that. The mass appeal of eBay is that it is an environment where you can buy and sell with others just like yourself. This creates a competitive market that oftentimes allows for a much lower than retail price. Okay. Can you find brand new items on here? Oh, sure. Sure you can. But mostly it focuses on used stuff. So let's go ahead and let's pull up eBay. You sign in real quick. All right, so we have our eBay open. Right now they're probably pushing a whole bunch of stuff that's like on sale on the Black Friday courses coming up, Cyber Monday. And they do actually have a daily sales section. Let's see. So it just kind of randomly shows you all kinds of things that are similar to stuff that you've looked at previously. And I guess the deals are up here. Let's see. Hang on, I know that they're here, so just give me a second. Where's the daily deals on? There it is. They used to be there on the left side. Okay, so what are deals? Deals are things that they'll suggest. A lot of the times it may even have a countdown clock on it where it's going to end soon or something. These are suggestions from them, things to buy. Of course, this kind of goes along with talking about Black Friday and what things people are, kind of interested in. We'll talk about features, all kinds of products on here. Okay, so this is kind of just like the price has been dropped recently. Deals, okay, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. All right, now if I go back, let's look at our handout. There's really two sides to the world of eBay, buying and selling. In order to understand selling, we must first learn about buying. Okay, so one of the big things that folks do will actually type in the name of something, or you can search by category as well. So we're going to kind of delve into both. So here's our limited time deals that I just showed you, okay? And then we can actually search by category, okay? And then we can actually do a search as well, search for anything if you want to. But let's go ahead and let's look at our categories. So let's do categories, electronics, and just say computers and tablets, okay? So shop by category. Let's do electronics, computers, and tablets. All right. So we have our other categories here. Again, you can click up here at any time and just type in laptop or something if that's what you're interested in, and it'll pop right up. But this allows you a little bit more control over it. Let's see, all-in-ones, laptops and notebooks. Let's click that. Let's see, all laptops and notebooks. I'm mostly interested in PC laptops and netbooks. Let's click that. So it's not going to show me any Macs or anything. I can also search by brand. The big thing the category does, now again, this is something that you could actually type maybe all this information you're looking for here in our search. But do realize you may not have the exact keywords. But this actually, searching by category, you can get more specific, do little check boxes here on the left side. Let's say we're looking for a 14-inch screen. It'll talk about how much RAM you're looking for, what operating system you're looking for, and then it'll actually start giving you, title after title after title, okay? Now, some of these might be, if it says something like, where is it on there? Just saw it a second ago. Where it said a certain amount had been sold. Okay, so here's one. Apparently, they have a whole bunch of them, okay? And they're actually talking about the price was this. Apparently, they have, it's like a company that has a whole bunch of those, so that's what they're selling, okay? So if I look at the other the settings here that I could actually customize, free shipping, any of this, and we can actually get more refined if we wanted to. Gives you more specific things, hard drive size, brand, all kinds of stuff. So it gives you a lot of choices, okay? Which there are a lot of choices with different laptops and stuff. Now, the other thing is you might actually just be looking for, let's click up here. This time I'm just going to type in a laptop. Okay. So if you search categories, or if you search, just type in a name up here and you're good to go. Okay. I feel like a lot of people will use the actual, just searching more than they actually would the categories. But do you see all the extra options you do get with the categories? Now, if I look up here, let's go ahead and look. And let's go into our next section here. So let's talk about buy now or auction, okay? And then I'll talk about noticing which one is which, okay? Both names are kind of quite self-explanatory. Buy it now purchases the item you're reviewing for the price that is listed. So it turns eBay basically just into a store. It's an online store, but again, you'll actually have eBay as a go-between you and the seller. Okay, so if you do have any problems, if you do any questions, do realize that you do have a go-between. If for some reason the item never came, you can of course contact the seller, but if it continues, realize you still have the eBay as between you and the seller to help you. So if you are still not satisfied with whatever they suggest or whatever, you still actually have a go-between between you and the seller. So buy it now. There's no wait time or bidding. You may pay a little bit more for the item, but when you get it, it's guaranteed to get it and the price. I know someone that this is a big one. Anything that they sell on eBay, they don't do the auction. They actually put it as a buy it now, and they'll admit that the price is a little bit higher than what they would expect to get in an auction. But when they sell the item, they have sold the item for the price that they were looking for. Okay. So an auction, the item has been auctioned off in the traditional way. Okay, the item has an end time and you can bid on it until this time has ended. Now, one of the things I have to say is that eBay is not a pay to bid site. There are many of those. I wouldn't really call those scams, but I would call those just buyer beware. You can actually bid on anything that you want, and you could actually have spent money to bid on things, but then not win the item. Okay, so can you leave the website with spending, money and not get anything? Yes, because you didn't win the auction. Now on eBay, if you don't win the auction on eBay, you pay nothing. Okay, whoever wins the auction and they pay the money, they get the item. Anybody else that bid doesn't have to owe eBay anything. Okay, so it's very, very honest. Okay, the item has an end time and you can bid on it up until this time is ended. The item will be sold to the highest bidder, yet there is no guarantee you will win. You just have to keep trying. Okay, so we talked about optimizing our search a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about that. We also talked about our check boxes, our different brands and everything. We talked about our categories. Okay, you can talk about your price, also what condition you would be interested in the product being set as. You can choose things like Dell, new, the price range, talk about free shipping as well. So let's go ahead and let's go back and let's look over here on the left. So I just typed in laptops this time and we should get, there we go. So let's click Dell. It'll reset itself, and our next thing we clicked was new. I'll get asked, can you choose new? Yes, you can actually choose new. Seller refurbished, refurbished. There's your price range. Okay, so let's say if I set it to, let's say 350 to 600. I actually have to hit the button at the bottom, I think. Or do I hit enter? I think I hit enter. Yeah, okay. So now, and the last thing on here is we want to check free shipping, okay? So if I go down, there you go, free shipping. It updates. Okay, so we've got some laptops here we're thinking about. Now remember, we have chosen new. If it's a used item, need to read the complete description to make sure that it is the item. But right now we actually are just choosing where it says new. Okay, so let's look and see what we have. So this is a 13-inch screen. Some folks may think that's a little bit small. I personally do. 14-inch, I really like that size. Usually it's a smaller laptop. And let's look at this. This doesn't really have much detail about it. Let's go in and click it. And that is a terrible, a terrible seller that doesn't give much information on here, does it? Let's scroll down here. We're going to look at a different item in a minute. Let's see. See, brand new, unopened, undamaged item. Okay. Pickup available. It doesn't say anything else about it. No, I would not bid on this at all. That is not enough information. I don't even know what it looks like or what processor it has. That is a no good for me. I'm going to keep looking here. Let's look here. Okay, so the Dell Latitude. And we can actually see some of our section here. So let's look back at our handout. So understanding our listing. Okay, first we have some pictures. Okay, so if we click the different pictures, we'll be able to view them. Also, it'll give information about is there shipping, all this. Now, a big one that I'll get asked a lot is how does this work? How does it know Well, the big thing is if you've actually bought something here before, then, or when you're setting up your account, it may eBay may ask what your zip code is or what your address is. And one of the things is then anytime you're logged in, which is a good idea to log in to eBay when you're even just browsing eBay, because then it'll tell you what the prices are based on your location and for shipping. So later on we'll talk about shipping when we're talking about selling something. Okay, lots of details on here, money back guarantee, all kinds of stuff. It also will go into telling us, is it a buy it now? Is it an auction? Is it a, should I add it to my watch list? A watch list is more and more important to me because finding out that a lot of sellers, one of the things they do is they will actually can send private or secret deals to people that are watching the item. So I've even had it where yesterday I got a message from a seller because I had hearted or added to my watch list an item, and they secretly sent out a message to all the people that are their watchers, and it said, hey, be the first person to get this deal. The person has, the seller has dropped the price, let's say $5, okay? Be the first to jump on this deal, okay? So, and you can say yes or no. So do you realize that adding some to the watch list, you'll be updated if the price gets lower. And like I said, sometimes the seller might send out a dropped price just to the people watching it. Okay. So if they don't want to officially drop the price, but they're trying to sell it. So let's talk about our sellers' ratings and stuff. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back and walk around a little bit more here. So here's our price. This is a buy it now item. In a minute, I'll pull up an auction item too. Buy it now, I could add it to my watch list if I wanted to. I kind of explained that a minute ago. It gives more information here. I can click on the different, the different screenshots here. And also talks about the shipping is free, which is one of the things I wanted to make sure. Okay. It says 5 people are watching this item. Talks about, just realize that you can pay any way that you want, because if it's on eBay, they're going to accept PayPal. Okay. So if I scroll down, it'll give some suggestions for similar items. Okay. Other things that are frequently bought. But here's our big one, is to make sure that we read all of the description. Okay. Now, some of this is you can, and when we're actually going to set up and sell something, you'll see that a lot of times people will just type in the model number and all this information will come up. Okay. It'll talk about what it is, what the price of it is, and also it will tell suggestion of what price to post something at. So here's our big one here. Not going to go into the computers too much, but just realize that this is an older computer. It's a 6th generation laptop for $450. Realize that Intel right now is on the 10th generation. So if this was cheaper, if this was like 300 or 350 or something, then it could be a good deal. But do you realize that it seems a little overpriced right now? But it does have a solid state hard drive, which is a good thing going for it, which isn't huge, but it's pretty big. So here's our descriptions here. Now, a lot of the time, this is actually not what the seller wrote. So this whole part is basically they typed in the model number, and then eBay did this automatically. What did the seller actually write? The seller actually wrote this part, okay? A laptop with all the latest features of Windows 10, okay? Not a great description of it, but it is a new item, so they may not be needing to talk about it much. It's a new item. Either you want this new item or you don't want this new item, okay? So let's go back and let's look at some, well, I'm going to stay there for now. I wanted to talk about the seller rating. Okay, so a seller rating is very important before you buy something. You don't want somebody that has a low rating. I will tell you this, eBay really has cracked down a lot on lower seller ratings. So you're almost a high percentage of basically just seeing positive ratings for sellers, because once they drop past a certain point, then they can't sell anymore. It's almost like they, their thing. It's just they've gotten too many negative comments to them for whatever reason. So if we go back to our item here, let's talk about our seller. So here's our seller right here. Oh, this person is not someone that has sold a lot of things. Okay. I wouldn't say buyer beware. But I would say that it's just someone that has only 4 feedback. Okay, so I'm going to click it. So this might be somebody like you or I that basically has just, maybe they've even gotten this item, maybe they just don't want this item anymore. Only 4 feedback. Buying things on eBay, you'll get positive feedback. People write you. So comes up, highly recommended, keep up the good work, accurate description, competitive price, well packaged for shipping, great price to seller set up. So some good positive comments here. Remember, there's only 4 comments, it says. Why did it say 4 and there's 3 here? Unless one has been hidden for some reason. Anyway, so this is a very small seller. So let's go back and let's look and see if we can find something that is at a higher price range. Okay, so let's look at this one. That's AMD. Oh, I know what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and let's just click laptop this time. We'll hit enter. Now we're out of the search. I'm actually going to reset our categories over here on the left. Can I just reset that? I have to uncheck it. Okay. All right, we'll just get out of there and then start back. Okay, good. So it's not, nothing's checked here on the left side. So this is just me typing in laptop. Okay, now let's talk about the different ways that we can search. We'll actually look at one that's an auction and look at one that has a much higher, I guess you'd say, user or seller rating. Okay, so we look here right now. It's showing 101,000 laptops. Okay, right now we're looking at all listings. Okay, there's one that there's auction, there's buy it now. There is a third option here. Okay, what is the third option? The third option is called accepts offers. Okay, I will tell you this, the accept offers could be good or bad. I've had, not bad, but just kind of annoying, I guess, good or a nuisance, because you'll actually get someone selling something that's buy it now, let's say $50, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to contact the person to see if they'll take 30. Okay, so you contact the person and they tell you no. And then what you're expecting, what would normally happen is, because they have accepted, they've set it to accept offers, then they were supposed to come back and say what they're interested in. And I've even had one that comes back and say, well, what about 50? And it was like, why are you doing accept offers? Is that your lowest price? So sometimes accept offers also will say this person's already been sent, and offered this price and they declined it. So the good thing is I've had ones where I don't try to go too low, but let's say $50, and I come back and say, okay, what about 35? And then they come back and say, okay, what about 42? And I go, okay, that sounds great. So I'm pleased, they're pleased. We had a little bit of negotiation. It's just kind of sending back and forth. It does make it a little bit easier if you use the app on your phone to be able to do this, but it's kind of fun. There's not a ton of them out there. Usually you'll see accept offers with the buy it now set up. Okay. Also, we have a set condition that we can set up, any condition, and we also have one over here called best match. Now, I'll do the auction one in just a second. We'll set it to ending soonest. So right now it's set to best match. You can set it to newly listed. If it's a buy it now, so the two big settings I would probably recommend is setting buy it now and clicking newly listed, because that means it's an item that has just recently been posted. It is not an auction. It's a buy it now, and you might get a good deal because maybe the person just didn't post it for a lot of money, and if you see it before anybody else, then you might be able to grab up that deal pretty quickly. Okay, so buy it now, newly listed, and our other one is auction ending soonest. So if you are interested in an auction and you want to know, what auctions are going to end soon, which ones you want to try to jump in there, see how that works. There you go, right there. Now this also is when you're looking at price versus shipping, but this will also include the ones that are auctions. So the best thing to do here is to make sure you have it set to buy it now. Okay, so let's look at auction. Okay, and it's kind of coming up already with a bunch of them that are about to sell pretty quickly. 15 minutes. This one is 6 days. Let's see, that says 4 hours. So let's go up here and let's set a best match. Let's change it to ending soonest. So while we actually sit here, we'll probably have a lot of these just time out. Okay. Again, I could go over here to the left side, choose side, choose a bunch of stuff. I think what I'm going to do is, if they have a choice here, let's see. If I tell it Windows 10, that should take care of a lot of this if it's a junk thing or old. There it is. So if I choose Windows 10, that will clear out a whole lot of kind of junk laptops that you're not interested in buying. Why did I choose Windows 10? Because Windows 10 is the latest version of Windows. Okay, so this shows that it's a more recent laptop. So here's 1 minute. There's a Dell Latitude. I'll be honest, I wouldn't really recommend anybody buying any less than Windows 10 because you can get some cheap deals on a Windows 10 machine. Okay. Microsoft doesn't support Windows XP, or they're still kind of supporting Windows 7 Vista, not anymore. So go ahead, and if you are going to purchase, make sure it is the latest version of 10. So if we scroll through here, that says 1 minute. Let's see, $700. We got 9 bids going on. So it's a signature. It is a high-end laptop there. Let's see, 0 bids on this one. Let's see, Windows 10, no bids. We got no bids going on. Let's go up here to the one that has a bunch of bids. And it says it's got less than a second. So this should be interesting. So we go to the bids part. There are some folks that will not bid, will only bid up to a certain amount, and then they'll come in and do kind of like a sniper bid. Okay, so we might see that happen, we might not. So right now it's at 700, and it is counting down, but we'll give it a second. And it's counting down. We might see the sniper thing happen. You place your bid here, and then here's our seller. Oh, they've only sold one thing. Okay, so trust me, I'm going to show you some that have thousands of positive, like 1,000 positive reviews or something on our seller. So the person's only sold one. Here's the pictures of the laptop. This is a special model laptop too, by the way. All right, so there you go. Jump, got 12 other bids. Now it's saying I can't bid anymore because that time is now up. Let's look at their bids there. So like I said, this is a high-end specialty laptop, signature edition. So yeah, it may go for a little more. Here you go right here. Here's what we witnessed right here. The biddings that jumped up there. Okay. Jump, jump, jump. So we started seeing it at 7, and then it jumped up, jumped up, jumped up, and there you go. Now it won't officially show what their screen name is. Now let's talk about how the bidding works, or bidding on something. Let's go back. So basically, I'll do a refresh here. So we'll get to see some of the other ones here. I want to get some that has a bid on it. Okay, so here's a Microsoft Surface. Oh, interesting. Okay. I have a feeling that's definitely going to go more than that unless something's wrong with it. This is where you can look at it. And you definitely should go down and definitely read the descriptions. Shows a little wear, but nothing obvious, scratches or dents. And then this is what they wrote. Okay. Backlight power bundle. Let's see. 7th generation processor, so not too bad. And it's about less than 3 pounds. What is the screen size? 13.5, so it's a small screen size, but that might be what somebody wants. Okay, so all right, here's the seller ID, and if I click there, we can see that they have 80 positive reviews. You go down here and read their reviews. Okay, and do they have any negative reviews? They actually don't have any negative reviews. That's a good thing. All right, so how exactly does the bidding work? Okay, so a big misnomer is someone says, okay, well, right now I see this at $325. I definitely think that's going to jump up for the price of what that is. It's Microsoft Surface, so it's an official Microsoft product. So if you go into here and I said, okay, well, I'm willing to pay $400 for this laptop, and I click the bid and I say $400, what happens? Well, it actually comes in and it says, okay, well, the incremental, jumping from one to the next, it won't all of a sudden jump up to 400. If the increments are like $1 or something, then all it will do is match the other person's bid. Okay, so only until, so it's going to jump up slowly, matching the other bids, unless someone already said, well, I'm willing to pay $375 for this, and I said $400, that's when it'll jump up to $376. Okay, does that make sense? So you can actually bid and say, well, this is the maximum price I'm willing to pay for this, and basically walk away. And if you get outbid, then you can go, okay, well, that was the highest I was willing to bid on that item. I didn't want to get too wrapped up in, the excitement of an auction or whatever. But, walk away and you go, okay, well, that's all I was interested in. Now, the other thing is, you may say, let's say $400, and come to find out when you come back and look or get a notification, or if you're using the app's really where it's really at, because you can get instant notifications on your smart device to let you know that it has jumped up. So let's say someone says, okay, well, I said 400. Someone says, okay, well, 401. And then that person wins because I was not wanted to go over, 400. A good tip is to not label things like that. Make things a little bit odd, make it, 325 on there is pretty good. Maybe even bid 327 on something, because you're more likely to get it, because people in their mind will round things evenly. Okay, add a 0, add a 5. So if you go a little higher than that, you're more likely to get it, close to the part that you're willing to pay. So if I was going to bid 400 on this, I might say, well, what about 407? Okay, something like that. And then someone may say, okay, well, I'll bid 405, and then I would get it by $2. Okay, or they may say, hey, I'll try to bid this guy up another dollar. Okay, 406, and then I still beat them, and they go, okay, well, I don't know how high this guy's going to go. I'm done, or whatever. Now, there are, of course, auctions that have end at odd times. Some people say that the afternoon is a terrible place to have an auction end. You should have it doing it in the evening or at night. And then other people say this is the best time to have it because if people work somewhere, they have their cell phones, they may pull their phone out and just see if there's a product on eBay worth buying or whatever, and they may be more likely to make a online purchase of something in an auction at work because it's exciting. Okay, that countdown, oh, it says it's going to end in an hour. Oh, wow, this is exciting. I might win that item. And then it kind of gives them a little bit interesting to do at work. Okay, and there's different studies, and I won't go into that. There's different studies that people have said that if people have access to things like Facebook, but of course they need to be monitored or, in a position that it's not something that they can just sit there and do all day. It may actually keep their cognitive ability up high than not being able to do anything like that, where they basically, when they have downtime because they're waiting in between tasks, they basically just kind of, all they can do is stare off into the distance versus pulling up some kind of social media. It's like a YouTube video clip or something, just in between, waiting for their next task to begin. So there's some studies that people at work may stay more cognitively active. So anyway, so who knows? Maybe eBay helps people get more work done. I don't know. But just sitting here, the 5 minutes has kind of gotten excited. Oh, what's going to be? Oh, who's going to win it? So, again, if it's a product that's used, make sure you definitely read the description. Sometimes you'll hear on the news that someone said, oh, so someone was trying to buy like a new Xbox or PlayStation, and they went on eBay thinking that they were going to win. Come to find out, they didn't read the details, and it was someone selling an empty box. And then they paid $300. Now, usually eBay will step in, or you could complain and say the product was misleading in some way. You might get your money back, but the biggest thing about that is tell you to read the description. Now, in a minute, I'm going to talk about selling. And when you make up your description, if there's anything wrong with your item, you need to tell them about it. And they will still buy it. Okay? Those people will still buy it. You can say, oh, it has a ginormous scratch on the side of it. Here's a picture of the ginormous scratch. And they go, that's on the bottom. I don't care. I'm still going to buy it. So, but if you didn't tell them about the giant scratch and they got it in the mail, then they would give you a bad rating. They would say, I want my money back because it's got a big scratch on it. It's like, well, does that affect the way the laptop works? No. But you didn't say it had a big scratch on it. It's got a big scratch on it, so I want my money back. It's like, okay, but if you tell them up front, this is wrong with it just doesn't work. This part's broken. It needs to be re-glued, or I had to re-glue it or something. Trust me, they'll still buy it. There's still people out there that'll buy it. But now they realize what it is, what's wrong with it, and it actually will help you in the long run. Okay, I know I got a little long-winded on that one, but it's a little bit of details going on there. So we keep going. Our auction just keeps going and going and going, as you can see. And I wanted to go to someone that actually had. This looks like a company that does refurbishments. Let's see here, and look, they've got a 400 ratings. Okay, they got one negative, so let's click that and look at it. Bad, bad, it's slow, got stuff in it, I can't get I can't get out, had to wipe it and reboot. Okay. So it sounds like the person is complaining that it needed to be, the hard drive had stuff on it. Okay. So maybe that's not part of their refurbishment. So, but after 400 something reviews, one negative, it may not stop you from buying something from them if it's the right price. Okay. So again, that's really the big things. So auction set to ending soonest if you're interested in that. The other thing, if it's a buy it now, you may want to set that to a newest listing. And maybe you'll get a product that has just recently been posted, you know, today even, because it's a buy it now, it doesn't matter. Maybe the seller had just wants, you know, isn't looking to spend a whole bunch of time selling something, and they're just looking for a good price on something. Okay. So let's see. This isn't that bad, to be honest. Let's see, what processor generation is that though? It's a 5, so it's kind of older, but it's still a solid state hard drive, so it should stay. I'd say it's about 5 years old or so. So you know, you could spend your money, you know, for looking for something better. Okay, so let's go back to our search here. We talked about our seller ratings a little bit. What's a good seller rating? You saw where it said 99% or something on there. That's really kind of our big thing is that we're looking for. Like I said, you can actually see some that says thousands of different ratings. What can affect us, the accuracy of listing can affect it. So when you're going to sell something personal, just like I said, if it's got a big scratch on it, tell them about the scratch, take a picture of the scratch and say, hey, this pair of shoes has a big scratch on it. And they will still buy it. Okay? If they think they're getting a good deal, they're still going to buy it. The other thing is timeliness of shipping. Now, I've actually seen some where when they listed the item, it said, I'm listing this item, but I want you to go ahead and know that I'm going to be out of town when this auction is up, and it's going to take me a week to ship it to you. And it's like, and I even got a private, after I bought the item, I even got a private message that said, hey, I want to let you know I am going to be out of town, and I am currently out of town, and it's going to take me a week when I get back to a week from now to ship it to you. And I go, okay, no problem. Anyway, so what can give you negative is them thinking they're going to get something in 2 days, and then you waste a week of time and then didn't get it put in the mail. Now, one thing to do, and we'll talk about this, is our selling on eBay. You can actually set it up that when it's going to end. And what I recommend with that is, let's say you're going to sell 5 things, okay? Have them all end at the same time. Because you'll talk to people and they go, oh, I'd like to sell stuff on eBay, but I don't want to have to keep going back and forth to the post office constantly. And I go, well, you do realize that you're in charge when the auction is up. So if you set the auction and it's going to end on next Saturday, then you have all 5 of your auctions end on next Saturday. And then what will happen is when you actually, you know, people win, people don't win. If it gets relisted again, it'll do it for another week. And you can see when that is. But the big point of it is, let's say I was trying to sell 5 things and 4 things sold. That means I'm going to the post office once. One trip to the post office to put those 4 things in the mail and to ship them off. Okay? So don't let that hold you back in any way, because that really is the best thing to do is, you know, try to put everything to end on the same at the same time, and then you're good to go. You'll see also we can set when it starts. So let's say it's going to take me a few days to get all these items listed on there. That's fine. I'll still set it for it to be 7 days, and next Saturday all the auctions will end. Okay. So all my stuff's going to be ending at the same time. So we have a click. So this is basically selling on eBay. Sign up, set up your email password. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to click where it says create a listing. Okay. Now we're going to describe an item, okay, that we're going to sell. For example, in our example here is we're going to sell a pair of tennis shoes. You might describe these shoes as kind of men's blue Adidas glide running shoes, and then say what the size is, okay? So I'm going to copy that. Now, the easiest thing is it'll actually talk about searching for this item. Or do you want to sell an item like this? Okay. In a second, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have the item on I have eBay on my cell phone too. Another thing people will say is, oh, it's such a big hassle to take pictures of stuff. Okay. Well, I promise you it's not. If you have a smartphone, everything I'm going to do, you can do on the app. Take pictures. Do you know how to take pictures with your smartphone? Yes, you can do it with the eBay app. It'll actually say selling like this. It'll say you want to take a picture. It'll come up and activate the camera phone, take a picture. It's been saved to it automatically, and basically you write in the description, and then boom, it's been posted. Okay. There is a big stepping stone that's going to happen, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Stopping people from selling stuff on eBay. Okay, it's coming. Get ready. All right, so let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up our. So, whoop! I clicked the wrong thing. Let's see. So if we go up here, and I'm going to click. We had our watch list. We also have my eBay. This is where you keep track of your purchases. You keep track of your offers. Also, it will come up, and that's where you get your messages and say, hey, trying to offer somebody, then accept offers. I think I can show you an accept offer real quick. So we'll click here. And there's your make an offer. You click that and said, okay, well, what about, you don't want to lowball somebody too much. This is a buy it now. Like I said, most of the make an offer has the buy it now. So if I come on here and I say, okay, well, what about 170? Would you do 170? And then the person may come back and go, no, not interested in that. Or when we click make an offer, it'll actually come up and say, hey, don't go less than a certain amount. Okay. And then you can send them that. It will allow you to have a little bit of a conversation between you and them. Okay. So do you realize that? Okay. So let's go up here and let's do sell. Again, what's supposed to happen with that is like a conversation. I say, okay, how about this? And then they kind of meet in the middle, or they say what they really want. Don't just say, okay, well, I'm really interested in 190. It's like, then why even have the make an offer? All right, so let's list something for free. Okay. You only pay a fee if your item is sells. We sell it's percentage. It depends on our item. So here's our big search. So I'm going to click on our shoes here and go. So it's going to search. It's going to try to find our pair of shoes. It's got blue Adidas. Okay, let's do next. Let's see. It's pre-owned. All right, pops up. Now, this is going to be one of those things is it's actually going to start showing me some pictures and stuff if I choose the right brand. So it's pre-owned. It picked up where it said blue. There's our brand, style shoe, men's, and now that's a sneaker, athletic. Okay. And they're actually going to want us to add our photos. Okay. Now, I don't actually have a shoe in front of me right now. I actually have a flashlight right here, so I'm actually going to be using that. So now if you did everything, filled out everything with the actual eBay app, All right, so if you're doing everything with the eBay app here, and I actually can go to the bottom here, and I can say save for later. That'll be important later. So I actually go to my device, I say selling. It'll say active, okay? I type active. Okay, it's giving me a bunch of information here. Give me a second. Okay, so it comes up and it says your drafts. So I'm typing hitting the draft. It comes up with the full survey and everything. I'm just using this to show you how to take the pictures very easily. Okay, so I'm going to click the plus button, and it pops up and says, do you want to use the camera on here, or do you want to use the photo library? I'm going to say camera, and I'm going to use this item. It's just a flashlight, and I'm going to just hold it up in front of my keyboard here, and let me see if I can do a little better than that. All right, so here's the front. And it's standing on the end, okay? All right, I'm gonna say done. Now, it's actually gonna show that it uploaded the pictures. Okay, add as main photo. And now, if I go back, to my eBay. Oh, hang on. If I do, it logged out for some reason. Hang on a second. Hold on, what's it doing? Oh, I should have clicked drafts, I guess. Drafts. There we go. So I click drafts, and it pops up, and now, very easily, I've actually added the flashlight. Okay. So now we have all this information about the shoe. We're going to pretend this is a shoe, of course. And it was just that easy to add a picture. Okay. I can add a picture from my the computer, of course. And the more pictures, the better. Okay. You can drag and drop. It allows you to have a bunch of pictures and stuff. No additional charge. This is the big one here. Let's say that it actually has a hang on. Let's say it actually has a scratch on it. Okay. This is where I write what it is. Shoe has bad. Whoop. So I'm listing that it has a bad scratch on the right shoe. I would take a picture of the scratch, and trust me, they will still buy it. What I mean by that is people buy it if they feel like they're getting a good deal. And most of the time, something that you're like, that's a deal breaker. I wouldn't pay for this shoe or whatever. Someone else might out there and go, that doesn't bother me at all because mine are completely ruined. I'm on a budget. These fit my budget. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I want. Okay. So in the description area, like I said, a lot of the times it'll actually pull up and already has a full description, especially if it's like an electronic device. It'll give all that information. So we're setting it up right here as a 7-day auction. Okay. So our 7-day auction. We also want it to auto relist. Okay. So what is auto relist? It's going to start at 99%. 99 cents. Okay. but we can change that. To attract buyers and increase competition of your item, consider starting at a low bid. Now, I will tell you this. Be aware of 99-cent bids, because there actually is you can set a reserve price. What is reserve price? I've only had this happen to me once, so I'm not a big fan of this. It means that an item could have a secret price that we don't know what it is. If we don't, how should I say that? We don't not succeed, but if we don't go higher than that price, then the item doesn't sell. Okay, so I like the 99-cent stuff, but that means someone probably has a reserve price. So I click change. We can do it as an auction. Now, someone else will say, hey, I want to get a certain amount of money from this. I don't want to set a reserve price. So if I click more options, it'll talk about our reserve price. What is our reserve price? Auction reserve price. There's a fee which varies based on the amount entered. It applies whether or not your item is sold. So if I did do that, I'd actually have to be paying a fee to set the reserve price. So let's say these are really nice shoes. So we're going to say 50 bucks, okay? My reserve price should be 50 bucks. Okay? It's going to be a $5 fee to do that. So the best thing to do is this. If you say, hey, I have to sell these shoes for at least 40 bucks, okay? Then start your auction at 40 bucks, okay? How easy is that? It won't cost you anything extra. They're going to recommend stuff. Do have a choice of allowing offers here if you want to. Enter minimum price. Let's say I don't want to do that. I just want this to be a pure auction. And I'm going to start the bidding at 40 bucks. So guess what? Let's see. Offers increases your chance of selling the items by 3 to 7% based on recent individual seller listing performance. Okay. So they'll give you some little details in there too. So I want my starting. So if I was going to do that, I might say 50 bucks and then allow this to be, $40 or something like that. So start at 50. But if they want to allow an offer, I'll accept 40, something like that. The other thing is having it set up as easy pricing. Okay, easy pricing, and I do recommend this. Basically, when this timer's up and if nobody has won the auction, it'll automatically lower the bid by 5% each time your item is auto listed until it gets to, it says $24. Okay. So let's say my mind $40 is what I have to get for this. I could change it to $50 and then let the auto. I'm not in a big hurry on selling this item, but I do want to sell the item, of course. But if I set it here on easy pricing, it'll keep dropping the price a little bit, and it'll just every time the week or whatever ends, it'll actually relist it again. Okay. That is a pretty good strategy. Do realize that as it's counting down, make sure it doesn't go below what you're looking for. And this is what I'm looking here. So I may not actually want the easy pricing at this point, but you may want to start off, if you are going to use that and you're not happy with that, start off with the higher. And then see, there's 30. There's my easy pricing. Or, even 60 or something if we're trying to do our math here to make sure I get $40. Well, I have to do 60. Is that at 65, I guess? You have a bunch of different strategies here. Okay. So if I did easy listing, the lowest it would go was 40. If it does know an item by the model number, a lot of the times it will mention, hey, an item of this sold at a similar price, cheaper, so we recommend you set your price at this. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, then set it to 40. If that's how much money you're hoping to get out of this item. Now here's our schedule listing. This doesn't cost anything extra, so I want to make sure that, let's see, best time to just choose people are at home. So let's say I want this to start I want to end this on a Saturday because I have a 7-day set up. So let's say I want to start it on the 28th, okay? And we'll make it at 8 p.m., okay? So if it starts on this Saturday at 8 p.m., that means on December 5th, it's going to end on Saturday at 8 p.m. Do you get how that works now? Now, this actually is going to give me 4 days to go ahead and post a whole bunch of other items that start on Saturday and end on Saturday as well. I will tell you this, people do like, and personally, I like knowing that this seller is not selling one item, is selling more items, because I feel like more of this seller is is actually a person not trying to, make a lot of money off of one item. They're in business. They're here selling 5 items. It'll even come up and suggest your other items to them. So there you go right there. Now you can set 7 days. I would not suggest anything less than 7 days. Okay. You can set up a buy it now price. So let's say I want to do a buy it now price, and we'll say $60. Okay. So that's my pinnacle thing that I really want to get. I don't think my auction is going to go above that, but I want to sell something now. Now remember, you can go up here and not have it do an auction at all, okay? And I know someone that all they ever sell is the buy it now, and they put their premium price on here. And a lot of the times they actually will get their price. It may take a while to sell that item, and they'll even tell you, I do buy it now. It usually takes a little while to sell that item because the right person has to find it for that price. Now, here's the big hurdle that I feel like slows people down from selling on eBay, okay? And that is the shipping. eBay tries to make this as easy as possible. eBay really wants to use USPS, or Postal Service, okay? You basically, because of the item, if it has sold an item like that, this is shoes, so we're talking about 2 pounds at the most, unless this is like, a big pair of boots or something. So it's kind of already calculated everything, already the size of the box and everything. But you can change everything, okay? Now, this is the big question people ask in class, and they go, whoop, I didn't want to do that yet. Hold on. Go back. Okay. No. Okay, I've clicked the wrong thing. Anyway, where was it? Okay, the calculator here. I messed up. I'm sorry. But anyway, the big thing about that is it probably already knows the dimensions of the package and how much the package weighs. Okay? So, with this setting, when people ask, well, how does, and I want the seller to know what the price is, okay? Now, another thing is, if you could get something like a flat shipping price, okay? Now, how can you do that? The Postal Service actually sells flat boxes, okay? They actually do sell, and there it is. I think this is it. Anyway, it's the boxes that they sell in there. Not the boxes they sell, but they actually have free boxes you can make up. They have free made stuff. So a lot of those things already have a flat mail rate. Now, this really is, when they started doing this, they used to call this the eBay special. So the idea is that you walk in the Postal Service, and as long as the item doesn't weigh more, I've even heard that it's 50 pounds on some of these things. If the item doesn't weigh more than that, then there it is. So large rate. The item doesn't weigh more than certain things, then the box's flat rate will always be a certain price, okay? So you walk in there, it doesn't matter where you're shipping it in the continental United States. it'll actually have one shipping price. Okay, I will tell you this. That's very easy. It's very, you already have the box. You're putting the item in the box. You're good to go. These priority mail things, okay? The only thing about those is usually by taking an item in and then weighing it, usually it's cheaper than those flat rate boxes. And you may actually be mailing it to somebody that doesn't live in California if you live in Georgia, and it may not cost that much. So if you actually set it up to the buyer is paying that, then that means that someone in our own state will probably get $8 or surrounding. And then as far as ways they want to, they'll pay, and it can actually figure up a lot of that stuff. So a lot of people will say, well, how do I figure up the shipping? It's going to do it automatically for you. It knows what their zip code is, okay? So don't worry about that. It knows what your zip code is, and it knows what their zip code is because they have to log in to make a bid, okay? Now, if you want more options, you can actually add secondary options. You can add FedEx or UPS or anything like that. Any of those in there if you want to. One thing is if you're actually shipping something that is a media, just something the size of a DVD. See, there's your flat rate envelope right there for $7.75. Small box, $8. But like I said, if you go in there and you weigh your item, it may not be doesn't cost that much to ship to California. And I think if it asks you the zip code, if you're testing it out, try 90210, the famous zip code, and then whatever that price is, you can set that. Now, if you can actually work the price of the shipping into the price of the item and then say free shipping. People are more likely to jump to that because they go, okay, now how much is this going to cost for shipping? And then they have to add that up in their minds. They may not want to, and they may be like our example earlier where we just clicked where it said free shipping, okay? But flat rate boxes make this a lot easier. But I'm telling you, there is a media. Let me see if I find the media one on here. Anyway, you may have to go in the post office to get that. They actually have a cheaper media rate for shipping stuff. Of course, 1-day service and all that may be too much for someone just trying to sell something from their home. But anyway, there you go. Costs set by calculating the shipment. So I've told the dimensions, I've told the size. But one of the other things is, what should I do? What's the easiest thing to do? You can get a box, put your item in it, go in the post office. Usually they have a self stamp section. Put your item on the scale. Say, okay, I want to ship this to 90210 in California. And then it'll say, okay, that shipping will cost, $7, $3, whatever. And then you come back here and you can include it in the price of the item that you're trying to do, okay? Or buyer sells this, okay, well, I weighed my package, I already got it already, and it cost, $6.50 to mail or whatever. There you go. They pay the $6.50. It has to be continental United States, and you're good to go, okay? So let's go ahead and let's look at our preview. Hope that wasn't too much detail. The big thing I discuss about that is because those are questions I get in class a lot. So here's our flashlight shoe. Looks awesome. We're doing it for $40. The buy it now price is $60. Come to find out, I know the details here. I can ship in the United States. I did my I did the scale. It says priority. It costs $6.50 to mail it anywhere. So I'm just going to make this easier on myself, and that's how much I'm going to charge. Or like I said, you can do their thing. It may be cheaper for them. Here's my description. Here's eBay's description of the item. Here's my description. Shoe has bad scratch on right shoe. Okay. And there you go right there. And then click list it. Just keep an eye out. It'll talk about when the auction is up. Excuse me. when our auction will start. Okay, if you do an item where it's going to start, maybe even overnight or something, and then you'll think about, oh, I need to add such and such description to it, or give it a little bit more information or something. So that can be very helpful as well. So click list it, and then you're good to go. Okay. Now, I'm actually not going to do this for saving later. There's our lower price bid there. Now, let's talk about our final value fees on our items. Okay. Now, this is where it actually talks about that. It doesn't actually cost anything. They talk about 200 items. Most people are not going to do that. I have had a guy come to class once, and he wanted to start a whole store because he had planned on selling, hundreds of items a month. They do have a store section that's a discount rate. Okay. And depending on your items, let's see, insertion fees, learn more about how zero insertion fees work. A lot of times they'll say something like, coming up December, they may say something like 50 items free, fee free. Let's see, charge per listing categories for items of 2 categories, pay that. Original listing, duplicate policies. So listing multiple items and you choose 2 different categories. And so basically when it comes up to it, it's usually about, let's see, change of final value fee. When you insert the item, the fee is calculated percentage of total amount of sale. Okay. Total amount of sale is the amount a buyer pays, including shipping and handling. Sales tax isn't included in the calculations. If it's some reason your buyer doesn't pay, you need to either cancel or pay the unpaid fee. Final value fees on shipping. Final value fees on shipping based on the cost of shipping and everything includes it 1 day. And it comes up and basically it starts talking about the different things, automotive, all that, heavy equipment. And if we keep going down here, musical instrument, bass guitar, the insertion fee is free. And then the final value will be 3.5. Okay. So most of our items will actually be a free insertion fee. Okay. And then it could be like 3 to 10%. Okay. So this time about athletic shoes here, free to start. Okay. And then we go down to our final section. I want to go there. Hold on. Okay, final fees depending on the item, but it'll calculate up all of that for us near the end. Take away, well, where's my little thing? Usually it's a cheap little, just easy little chart here. Hang on. Let's see. Selling vehicles, selling stuff, selling fees. Hold on. I don't want to do 2 categories. Duplicate, listing, variable, multiple, cancel. Those will final credit. Anyway, it'll vary. Maximum is 10%. Okay. There you go. Books, DVDs, music. Used to have a thing where some of the more expensive guitars cost a lot. But anyway, it'll figure up all that. There you go. Basic fees in most categories. Standard fees including music, records, parts, all that kind of stuff. 200 things. Free. And then it's 10%, which will be the max. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead, since we talked about that. Now let's go ahead and finish up talking about selling on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. So I've kind of covered a lot of this that's on here. Talked about the preview, the listing. You'll see it in my eBay. You'll of course get message that your item is sold. You should definitely put the item in the mail within the next 3 business days to ship. Quicker, the better. Okay. eBay will even prompt you to print out a shipping label. Okay. If you don't want to do that, you can do it by hand. The person's address will be there. If you wanted to, I'll buy stuff on eBay, and there's a lot of stuff that's just handwritten. So a lot of folks might say, well, I may not have access to a printer. I'm just using the app on my phone. That's perfectly fine. You can handwrite it on there just as long as the post office can do it. And a lot of that, you just go in the post office, they weigh it, go up to the person, and then there you go. There you go. The only thing left now is take your item to the post office and ship it. Talked about our value fee, talking about a 10%. And like I said, this actually showed, I think it showed 200 items with no insertion fee, money back guarantee. Buyer wants the money back guarantee, did not receive item, does not match the item description. Again, make sure to tell them if it does have something wrong with the scratch, tell them about it. Most sellers work with buyers, quickly resolve issues, but if a solution is not reached, eBay can help. Remember, this is not you just buying something off of someone, off of a random website. This is you buying something off of eBay, so you do have the special protections and stuff. Lots of stuff on here by eBay, buying and selling. And now let's go and talk about our selling on Facebook and tips to keep ourselves safe. Okay, so let's talk about what is Facebook Marketplace. Okay, Facebook Marketplace was introduced in 2016. It seems a lot sooner than that. But by May 2017, more than 18 million items were listed for sale in the U.S. alone. Okay. Using Marketplace is easy. Click the Marketplace button at the bottom of the Facebook smartphone app. Okay. Or we're going to go to the website here. See something you're interested in? Send the seller a message that says still available. Okay. Message just tap send. You can now use Facebook Messenger to chat with the seller. So if you're on your smartphone, you need Facebook installed, and you also need Facebook Messenger installed as well. So now you have your own little chat. You can talk back and forth. Okay. So let's go ahead there, and then we'll talk about some safety stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. All right, so here's our marketplace. Warning, warning, I'm just on live internet, okay, in our local area. So basically we scroll through here, we see an item, and I will tell you this, you'll see these items on here that'll say $1 or something that's usually not the actual price that they're looking for. You click it and it actually will tell you something to the effect of, let's see, where does it say? Unopened, available next to message for details and price. Ha ha. So what you'll see is I wish we actually had a buy it now for price, but it doesn't actually do that. But so you'll see a lot of these that look like, well, why is that price that? Okay, is that really the price? Oh, that's interesting. Going to business. Huh. A houseboat. So I'm going to sell a houseboat on here. So we have our different categories over here. This is our general search right here. This is kind of showing what people are kind of clicking on, what people are interested in. Cars. Here's TVs. You can do a search, of course, up here for anything that you're interested in. Let me see. Statues. Hats. There you go. There's Masters stuff. All the little gnomes. So the hats, Masters 2020 tournament. Shirts. And I guess it's like keychains and stuff like that. Even though it was not open to patrons, there are ways that you could actually buy stuff on there. Okay, even how to rent a house, toys, all kinds of stuff on here. Oh, there's a cabin house. Let's see. cabinets for sale. We have one as big as 16 by 40. Price is not priced for the building. So classic, they're not actually talking about the actual price on here. So I'm trying to point that out because I don't want you to feel like it's a scam, but sometimes a lot of the things on here may not actually show their, the real price, what they're looking for, or they may say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or something to the effect of $1. I do know that that can be very aggravating. I wish that's not what they did. If you post something, please don't do that. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's annoying because all they're trying to do is just trying to post the item on there. I'm hoping in the future, so we don't get stuff like that, they'll actually post something that allows them to post something, best offer. Okay, so if you see BO on there, doesn't smell bad, it just means best offer. So I'm hoping in the future that you won't see dollar or things like this. You'll actually see ones that say best offer, and then everybody knows what's going on. But that's just kind of the language on here. But I wish they still didn't do that. Now, one of the things is, and I guess we can do, this is baseball cards, so this looks like almost a business kind of thing. Yeah, so this apparently is connected up with the local sports place, so we can actually look at their thing. We're interested in different hobbies, so you're looking about buying this. Okay, here's your message right here. First, a lot of the times you'll say first to send. You can type here, send them a message. Just because it doesn't say first to I forget exactly what it says, but it's like be first to message. Just because it doesn't say that doesn't mean that it's already been sold. Okay, so click in there, asking, is this the classic? Is this still available? A lot of the times you may get someone that says, I have a buyer going to look at it today or tomorrow or something, and I'll let you know. And you say, well, I am interested, and then or let me know if the deal falls through with the other person because I'm interested. A lot of the time it won't happen, but sometimes it will. The big thing is it talks about the area that the person lives in. Hopefully this is your area. It has different categories here. And if I go up to where I want to go. If I go, I can actually click on the person. Now, apparently this is someone that's connected up with this business, this sports store. So I don't mind clicking on that because it's like a public profile almost. The interesting thing is, so then all of a sudden you're actually getting their Facebook profile. In a minute, we'll talk about things to look out for scams. A big one is, see, this person joined Facebook in 2005. So this is probably legitimate. We can see pictures of like their family and stuff. You can actually click here to view profile. If they post stuff publicly, you almost feel like you learn too much information. Because one of the things is you'll click there and then you're seeing pictures of their kids, maybe a video of them, doing some holiday activity or something like that. There are ways that you can report stuff. If somebody's being ugly on here, tells their location. And the other thing is it also shows, remember I told you on eBay, I really like seeing that they sell other things too. This actually shows that this person is actually selling other things as well. Okay. Yeah, so this actually makes me feel like this is like less of a scam and more of a, well, I'm trying to make this to business. And look, we're selling sports cards and now we're selling deck stuff. Apparently they just had an extra 5 gallon of deck stuff. And they wanted to sell some kind of shirts they're trying to sell. Looks like some kind of DVDs or something. So it looks pretty legitimate, just trying to sell, a few things all at one time. Okay, now we want to see lots of pictures. Apparently this is their store. Okay. I've even picked one on here during the live. It was funny. I picked something. I forget what it was. But it was live on. It was during one of our on-ground classes. And I clicked on it. I clicked on the profile. It was just something. I don't know. It was like a reef or something. Just something generic. And I clicked on the profile, and then it showed the name, and it was like, that name seems familiar. And then I did in class click on the person's profile, and then it popped up, and they actually worked for the local news station, one of our local TV news stations. So it's like, yeah, I feel like, and then I went to the class and said, well, do you think this is a legitimate trying to sell something? It's like, yeah, I guess so. And it's like, then you could actually see, because it was like their public, profile and stuff about where they worked, how long they've worked there, all kinds of stuff, family pictures, pictures of them. They recently got married. It was kind of interesting. It's like, yes, I feel like this is a fully legitimate, one on there. Is there free stuff on here? Let's click free stuff and let's look and see. There you go. That's a big one right there. There's your free boxes. Someone's moved, trying to get rid of something. And I will tell you, will you even see pianos on here, or like really heavy pieces of equipment or furniture? Yes, you will. There's your piano right there. There's a piano. The big one is that things like pianos, they do cost to move, but at least professionally, so that it's not being damaged in any way. Now, here's one here. This looks like it's not actually free. So it looks like there, and this is again is one of those things that'll annoy you. You'll get a lot of people saying that when there is a yard sale or something, and I wish that they had the Facebook here had a basically different section for yard sales. So I'm not looking here and it says $20, and then I'm flipping through 20 different pictures of 20 different items, and it's like, come to the Saturday yard sale, and it's like, okay, well, this is not what I thought it was. So, and here's a person's face for some reason. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so here's like a couch. So any of this, you really need to read the descriptions very carefully. Can you do great deals on here? Absolutely. Will you feel like you're kind of helping out your community in a way? Absolutely. Look, here's somebody's doing a free kids meal. Kids meal bag giveaway today. Christian Ministries, let's see, certain place. So this isn't one person. This is actually a group putting out. Of course, this was 5 weeks ago, so I wish they would take it down, or maybe they're still doing it. I don't know. So there is free stuff to be had on here, but also, all kinds of great categories. Now, this is a whole lot less complicated to post something on here than it is eBay. So I'm going to show that real quick, and then we'll get back to our tips, and then we'll wrap up class. So if I click here and I say create new listing, it's basically, we tell what item we're selling. There was a lady that came to class and said, I want to rent a house. It's like, I want to rent my house. And I go, okay. She's like, but I don't know how to do that. I was like, it's just click there, and you click here and give your address and how much, and you click post. So I say item. Basically, it pops up my general location. Okay. And this is really the hard part. You give it a title. Okay. You need to add photos. Again, this is a lot easier if you're using the app on your phone. You can, of course, add pictures from that are on your computer and stuff, but it's a lot easier to add pictures that if you're using the app on your phone. Type in the title, the price you want, the category. Okay, close back. The condition, which is probably used, and give a description, and that's it. Okay? This is interesting. Hide from friends. I haven't seen this before. Hide from friends. This listing will be hidden from your friends on Facebook, but visible to other people on Facebook. Maybe you're ashamed to sell something on here. Maybe you're ashamed of something to be sold. Now remember, you are posting something publicly. So what'll happen is you have your phone, and you'll actually then receive the instant messages from people. If you don't want to do the item anymore, basically come back into here and remove the item. And that's it. Then you click save, and it pretty much posts it. and you're selling your item and you're waiting to hear back from people. So realize you're not worried about shipping, and they have some information here for sellers as well. How do I sell an item on there? It has a whole big deal on here. Last time I actually went here and we in class looked through everything. They don't have, there you go, things you can't sell on Facebook, services, house cleaning, you can't do that. I wish that in the future that Facebook would have a section for that, because I could see that being very, beneficial. Someone that's, maybe just do some yard work would like to post that. They do allow you to sell food. Okay, so if you bake cakes, anything like that, I've seen someone sell basically a taco, and you're like, okay, they're like, is that possible? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so just follow their policies. You can sell baked goods on here. There you go. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some of our, we talked about our descriptions. We talked about the price. Is this still available? Send someone a message to answer that question. So Facebook Marketplace buying tips, okay? Watch Facebook like a hawk. So here's Mr. Eagle Eye up here. He's keeping an eye out, okay? Keep looking, keep looking. There may be some website that does this or something, but it's not to my knowledge that you can actually set up alerts for certain items or something like that. You just have to be check all the time to see if there's something available. Look for first to contact. I remember that her big recommendation is try the first to contact. Says this available? If the person says yes, then you can actually get more information about it and say, okay, maybe this is what I'm looking for. Maybe it's not what I'm looking for. But try to get the first to contact in there so you will be first in line to make a purchase. Still send seller a message if available, even if they already received a first message. Like I said, just send a message, say, hey, is this available? If you don't receive a message from someone within 24 hours, it probably has already been sold, or they just don't really reply much, or they've lost interest in it in some way. Apparently, they're not interested in selling something. There was an item that I was looking for, contacted the person, said it was still available, and I will be honest, it's like every week or so, or anytime that they say, well, I can't, my husband's is back and from being shipped off, so I'm not sure what our schedule is going to be like. And that went on for about 2 months, and then she's like, okay, well, I have to go out of town again. It's like, okay, well, let me know. And then I'll be honest, I just don't think she was really that hung up on making it was a really good price for 2 items. I just don't think she was that hung up on getting rid of the items or making the money on the items. And can that happen? Oh, absolutely can happen. The person, their life gets busy. They have things they need to do. So it can happen. Don't take it personal. Okay. All right. Read all the details. See all the photos. Look at them carefully. Maybe even look at them on a bigger screen or zoom in on them with your fingers and stuff if you're using a cell phone or something. That's a good thing to kind of have in mind. Maybe there might be something in there. I don't want you to miss anything just because you couldn't see it on the small screen. Okay. Guard personal details. You don't need to tell them your address. Okay. Check out seller's profile page. We did that. Tips for checking out a fake profile page. Warnings. The profile was created recently. Notice the one we looked at. Like I said, that guy apparently maybe owns that business. He was selling stuff on there, and his profile had been there since 2005. Remember, this actually started in 2017. So people that have profiles that are older than that, less likely to be a fake account in any way. Their profile picture is not a photo of a person or not a photo at all. Okay, so be aware if they're not showing their face, if they're wanting to sell stuff, it can give you an odd feeling of, why are they posting that picture? That looks weird. Just be aware of that. How many friends does the profile have? Do they have a bunch of friends? Does this look like it's legitimate? you'll actually learn more information than maybe you may be interested in about the family members, especially if they post a lot of pictures of like their family, and maybe they use it kind of like a journal to talk about themselves and their family and what they're thinking about and stuff. You do not have to accept the seller's friend request to buy from them. Once you have sent them a message, you're instantly connected up through the Facebook Messenger. You don't have to accept their friendship to be able to sell something from them. You can talk to them through that message. Now, let's talk about our safety here. Okay. Most people pay in cash. You can set up ways to sell like in Venmo or even through Facebook. Do realize you can send money through Facebook. That's one of the reasons why we've been seeing more and more scams on Facebook, because you can set up Facebook and add your credit card and pay for things. So do realize that more likely to have scams now because Facebook, you can send money. A lot of folks, they want to have the money in their hand. A good thing is, like I said, bring a buddy. A good thing is, let's say I'm going to go up to somebody and they have the item. We're meeting maybe in a parking lot in a safe place. And I don't just hand them the money. I said, okay, nice to meet you. Tell me about the item. And then I try to listen as they stand there and they go, well, it's this, it's really great. It's this. I go, yep. And they goes, it works, or something like this and this part. And again, this might be the time they say, well, I didn't mention it in the thing, but as you can see, it has a big scratch on the side of it. Okay. And then if that sounds good to you, they go, well, you sounds good. You go, okay, well, thank you. And then basically you can, it's a good recommendation maybe to have the money like in a pocket somewhere. Then pull the money out, hand them the thing, and then take your item and say, thank you very much. I've sold something and had someone immediately give me the money. I go, okay, well, hang on. Let me show you the item first. And then I pulled the item out and they looked at it and they asked a few questions. I said, no problem. And then I was like, okay, now we go. So it's kind of funny. I was like, it's like, well, wait, let me show you the item first before you give me the money for it. So good places to meet people, a store parking lot, maybe like a Walmart or Target or someplace. Some of those stores, the police will park out front. So if you do have your pickup in that area, it will kind of feel like employees are walking in and out of that area constantly. Okay, that's a good safe bet. Lots of light, and again, in some of those stores, they have cameras outside. So if someone did want to do something. I've had one where someone, I'm looking at the item, I want to buy the item, and then they said, oh, well, I've been real lazy today. Can you come by my house? And I had already mentioned I wanted to meet them like in a Walmart parking lot. And I go, no. And then they sent me their address like it was, and he goes, it's around the corner. I go, I would rather meet in the Walmart parking lot. And then he goes, well, if you just pull up, I'll walk out. You don't even have to get out of your car. I'll give you the item. I was like, no. I said I wanted to meet at the Walmart parking lot. Met me in the Walmart parking lot. Come to find out, he was an intern down at AU, and he really was just tired because he had a really late night. He was studying to be a doctor or a technician or something. Anyway, he'd had a really late night working. So it was nothing bad about it. He really was tired. But then it all worked out too, because I didn't know him. He didn't know me. It was safer to do it that way. Meet at a coffee shop, restaurant or something, maybe even parking lot. Some police departments allow folks to meet in their lobbies or even in their parking lots. The Columbia County Sheriff's Department, I'm sure, is perfectly fine if you want to say, hey, meet me over here in the library parking lot near the police department. And if someone says, no, I don't want to do that, they may give you a big hint of maybe I shouldn't do business with this person. All right, things not to do, okay? Things not to do. Do not meet a person at night, okay? Would grandma let you do that? No, grandma would not let you do that. Do not meet someone at night. I've had someone in class that basically said this guy kept talking to her and saying, hey, I'll meet you there, but I work really late. Can I meet you there about 10:30 or 11 o'clock? And she was like, no. At night, can't we meet, when it's light during the day or something, or in the afternoon? And he was like, no. And he's like, well, I was like, well, I don't think that was maybe you did the right thing of not meeting that person. An easy rule, bring a buddy. Take a family member with you, go for a drive, have the other person sit in the car. You can go look at the item. I know sometimes furniture, you have to go to someone's house to see it. And a good thing about furniture is you may get there, it may not be what you're interested in. You can just say, well, this isn't really what I was looking this isn't really what I'm looking for, but I'm sure you'll find someone that'll be able to buy this item from you. And just say thank you and kind of walk out. Don't feel bad. Okay. Both the big thing is if you're going to meet in a parking lot, share both your vehicle details before you meet. Set a time to meet. Okay. Say I'm going to meet you at so and so time. Have the other person say that's fine. Then, like you're on your way, let them know, hey, I'm on my way to the meeting. And then they can come back and say, okay, I'm running 5 minutes late. And then you come back and say, okay, my car is this, this, and this. And I'm in park near the lawn and garden or whatever. And they usually come back and say, okay, well, my car, I'm 5 minutes late. My car is red and it's this model. And I'll be looking for you, looking for me. And there you go right there. Makes it a lot less awkward. Makes both individuals look like the other person is wanting to do this deal. Okay. Inspect the item before making a digital payment. Don't prepay something. Look at it and then pay them, and then they can instantly see it right there. Make sure you can see the goods before giving any kind of cash. Okay. Looking at furniture, someone's house, tell someone where you're going. Okay. Stay vigilant and walk away if something doesn't feel right. Okay. And we also have on there 5 ways to buy and sell safely on Facebook Marketplace. If it still feels strange, just say, oh, this isn't really what I thought it was. And say, well, thank you for your time, and walk away. Okay. Got some other tips on here. Details. We talk about making sure that you list everything on there. Be clear about your price. Best not to post that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing. Even we saw that, and where it says $1 or something. I do know that they're trying to post the best offer, but I wish that Facebook in the future would just allow there to be a best offer button on there. Make it clear. A big one is if they give a price, let's say $250 for like a sofa or something, make it clear. Ask the person, will they take a lesser price before you even try to go there or anything. They might say, well, I don't know. Yes, maybe. I have gotten to a place and the item was not exactly as they thought it was, and even their description, and they were honest. They said, well, I thought this was more clear than I thought it was, but it looks like it is a problem. And I basically went, well, would you take $50 less? Yes or no? And he was like, yeah, I will. And then okay, it's like, well, let's get it on the truck. But the big thing is, if you do want less of a price, go ahead and send them a message and say, hey, would you take less price? I've done that. I've had it where it was a bunch of items and less of a price, and I guess it was someone that was a gamer in the family. We're selling some gaming stuff, and then the other person was the person selling it. And I basically came back and I set a price, and the person jumped at the price immediately, didn't even counter offer. And then when I got the item, they said, this is great. I can clean off that shelf and put something else there. I was like, okay, well, that was your goal. It sounded like that was what you wanted more than the money. So that was good for both of us. I wanted to help her clean off that shelf, and I also wanted the items as well at a good price. Okay. All right, so we kind of finish up here. Like I showed here, you can actually click, and the Facebook actually has on the website there some other information to keep yourself safe. Just remember, the big thing is, don't meet at night. Talk a lot about talk a lot to the person. Research the item a little bit. Try to figure out exactly, is that exactly what you want? You know, and keep yourself safe. So tomorrow, there's going to be, like I said, we're having a short week this week. Tomorrow we're going to be doing an 11 o'clock class. We're doing our 2 Thanksgiving Day classes back to back. Thanksgiving Day Scratch. Let's make a turkey feather catch game. Come join me for that. And also in the afternoon, Thanksgiving, let's draw and animate a turkey. Tomorrow we'll come out with our new schedule for next month. We're going to be doing some fun stuff, some animating using Blender, which is a CGI program. And we'll do some kind of snowman stuff and like a little snowman scene. And we'll kind of figure that one out too. So with our online classes, we've been trying to do some kind of theme stuff. And it'll be kind of holidays with making a snowman. Okay. So come join me for that. And also realize our libraries are open with limited services and hours. Curbside holds pickup is available. You can go to gchrl.org for details. Call the library questions Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates. Or you can search YouTube for GCHRL videos. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Hope you learned something new. I know I learn a little bit every time, and have a great day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a happy Thanksgiving as well. So bye-bye. See you next time.